Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another podcast. This is depressing that I'm wearing my beard shirt. Now I've got no beard. It's itchy though. I'm at that itchy stage of the beard. Wow, you're saying lots.
I don't care about your beard.
But you could have at least have said hello. That's a good way to start a podcast.
When do I have a chance to say hello, anyone? When did Rob pause for breath? Oh, now he pauses.
Oh, shut up. I was going to mention about your new hair that was supposed to have been silver and but it's turned out purple, but it actually doesn't look too bad.
I quite like it purple.
It's not bad.
Apparently it's going to wash out real quick though.
The purple?
Yeah.
So what, it'll look like the rest white, or
yeah.
it'll just... That's not bad then.
But it's toner, so eventually this will all wash up as well and I'll have to do it again. I can't just permanently be Daenerys. I have to go back to being Draco every few weeks.
Can be a Malfoy.
I don't want to be a Malfoy. You're a Malfoy. I'm a Gryffindor.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being Slytherin. We're Slytherin snake.
And that's what's wrong with it.
Anyway, talking about Daenerys, very recently, Game of Thrones dropped a new trailer, didn't they, for the new season?
I don't think I've seen it yet.
I don't think either of us have seen it because we was waiting until we'd finished watching.
Well, no, it came out. I told you about it, and honestly, until you've just brought it up now, I forgot it was a thing.
Well, yeah, because I think we was waiting till I'd fully caught up because Gemma watched it when it aired, all that time. I watched season 1 when season 1 came out, and then chose not to watch the rest because I thought it was utter crap. My opinion's not changed massively from that, but I'm now fully caught up on Game of Thrones, and we still need to watch that new trailer. But we have a very big difference of opinion with Game of Thrones, and to be fair, my opinion differs from a lot of people's because most people hate Cersei.
Most normal people, yeah.
But I don't understand why so many people hate her, because after everything that she's been through, like her first child's death was poisoned by the people that she worked with.
Right, stopping you there already. She was an evil woman before Joffrey died. Yes, she killed her husband because she wanted her son on the throne. She then manipulated her son.
She didn't kill
She did!
Baratheon, he was ate by a boar.
She told the other Lannister, that Lancel Lannister, to keep giving him this wine that she drugged, and then he was completely out of it, so he messed up and got speared by a boar.
He was a terrible king.
Right, was he worse than Joffrey?
Yes!
Hell no!
At least Joffrey did king things. He just went out, drank wine.
I don't think king things is having ladies of the night and shooting them with a bow and arrow just for a laugh, or beheading your wife-to-be's father and making her look at his head on a spike.
But he at least went to meetings and did stuff.
He didn't do anything. He did nothing. It was the hand of the king every time. Joffrey did nothing. And at that battle, he did nothing.
Of course he didn't, no. But why would a king go out and fight? You send your people out to do your fighting.
No, not back then. In those kind of times, you did not. Most of the time, the king would lead the charge.
But I'm going to get onto this back then thing with Daenerys, because I have a whole big issue with that one. But I just feel like if...
Just to clarify, by back then, I know Game of Thrones isn't real. But I'm talking kind of your medieval period.
Yeah, it's still a medieval setting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was her first son was poisoned by allies essentially, or at the time what she thought was her own brother that had done it.
Yeah, but she'd always hated Tyrion. She was just waiting for an excuse to get rid of him.
But there was that whole side of it, and then the whole thing of being the whole shame, like that was like the most embarrassing thing you could ever. If you wouldn't come out the other side of that being an absolute dick.
She was a dick before that, though.
Yeah, but like you said to me, like after all that sort of stuff happened, she became worse. You're damn right you would.
Because after she lost all the children, you don't have anything to lose, do you? It's like she doesn't even care about Jaime that much anymore.
But like at that point, she'd not lost a second son. At that point, she was like, right, if they're going to do this to me, I'll get them back. And out of that whole trying to get them back, then she kind of didn't realise how weak-willed her own son was. And if he was going to be that weak-willed, then fair enough, he probably should have thrown himself off that battle.
She killed his wife. And he did nothing about it. He was a pathetic king.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
And his mother murdered his wife. Like, how could you ever forgive your mother for that? And he's lost the other nurturing female in his life.
Yeah.
He was too young to be king.
Oh yeah, he was. I completely agree with.
And the fact that Cersei did that to Marjorie annoyed a lot of fans, including me, that's how Marjorie went out.
Oh, it was she was one of the best characters in it, and it was a shite way for her to go.
They were a cop-out. She deserved a much better death than that.
But she's not going to lose her head in battle like that, is she?
No,
so
I don't know what other kind of... It's just that felt very...
I'm going to say, there'd have been no real way to do it well.
It just felt very like, we haven't had a big character wipeout since the wedding.
Wed wedding.
Since the Red Wedding, so let's just stuff one in here.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand why they did it and all that sort of stuff. And
she destroyed the Sept as well, where her son is buried, her daughter is buried, her father is buried.
They're already dead, what's it matter?
I know, but a lot of people like that, like the family crypt, like under Winterfell. They go and see their family.
Either way, all the shit that she's been through, I'd expect it to be a cowbag. And she
By
does
the
it
end,
well.
yeah, but the fact is that she's always kind of like that all the way through. She gets progressively worse, but it's not like she's a nice person from the start.
But I wouldn't call her pure evil like a lot of people do either.
I would now.
I wouldn't.
She's full of hatred.
Oh yeah, she is, but...
Even Jaime can't get through to her, so no one can they?
But once you've been through hell, I'd expect that.
Right, but hell's on its way though, innit? And she saw that, and she promised to fight with them, and then she turned on them. She's already plotting against them all.
Is she?
Yes. You missed that bit, did you?
Where?
She said to Jaime afterwards, do you really think we're going to help them with the army of the dead? And that's why Jaime left, because he said, well, you might not hold your word up, but I will. And she said, if you go, then you're my enemy. So he left. To fight alongside him against this army of the dead, whereas she's plotting.
You've got to. You're at war.
Right. I don't care. I would take on 3 dragons, like, over the army of the dead. You need to clear out the army of the dead. Yeah,
but you've also got to be clever about it. Once that Night King is dead, and I reckon once the Night King's dead, the rest will just fall.
Well, that's the theory, yeah.
So once the Night King's dead, they will all fall.
Unless the actual White Walkers are independent of him.
But then you've got to find a way to take out 2 dragons, because they've already lost 1 technically. So you've got to find a way to take out 2 dragons... and whatever army Jon Snow has and everyone else to lead
the whole of the North.
So you will struggle. So you need to be a very smart tactician if you're going to do it and go, once they've lost quite a few men, we will hold ourselves as the reserves to try and hold as many people back. And then once this fight is over, stab them in the back.
That's what she's doing, because at the minute she can't win.
Exactly.
If Daenerys decided to march on King's Landing,
she's got 2 big-ass dragons, yeah.
And they don't have any allies at the minute either, the Lannister family. So,
like, you've got to play it clever if you're her, and that's why I think she's so damn good, because that's what she is. She is very clever at what she does.
I just feel like this whole thing of let them go and fight that war, and I'm going to be a petty child and steal everything while they're not looking. Because what's the point? If they don't win that war, there's nothing to steal, love.
But all they've got to do is kill one person and it'll crumble.
She doesn't know that.
No, I suppose
if Jon
not,
and
but...
Daenerys and all their forces go down, no one else knows that. I mean, I think next season the first thing that's going to go is the wall, because they've already hit it.
Well, I say the wall's down.
No,
really,
but I mean, like the actual Night's Watch. And that worries me because Tormund is there.
Oh, he's going to die.
And the Hound is there. And the guy with the flame sword. And he can't come back anymore because his buddy got killed, didn't
he? Yeah.
I mean, unless they get Melisandre back.
She's pretty much run her course now. She's become a stale, hasn't she, though?
I don't know what her purpose is now, to be honest.
Well, she's the old one that I have this great old vision, and then her vision was wrong.
No, it was right. It was the person who it was about that was wrong. She thought it was about Stannis. It wasn't. It was about Jon Snow.
But
everything she saw came true. It just wasn't Stannis.
I guess. But that means that the reason why she needs to stick around is to bring him back from the dead repeatedly.
That's why I'd want her.
I wouldn't trust her, though. I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her.
I would now. She's very broken now. I wouldn't have done with Stannis because that was messed up, but she's been, like, proper broken by her faith now. With what happened with Stannis and the fact that she killed his daughter and then realised it was for no good reason that she killed a child. That seemed to hit her really hard. And the way Davos spoke to her about that seemed to hit her really hard.
Because he was the true father.
He was, yeah, absolutely.
He was the one that went to see her all the time and spent time with her.
And she taught him to read, and he brought her like a stag, and he brought her gifts. And he was a real father figure.
Yeah.
And he loved her like that as well, I believe that.
Yeah, I can see that. But, so then when we're talking about leaders, so if you're saying that Cersei is an absolute cowbag and shouldn't be a leader, you're short on options. Your options are Daenerys, or, as we will very soon find out, or someone will find out, Jon Snow.
Well, Sam knows, doesn't he? Sam's worked it out from the books.
Because, what is he? He's half Stark, half Targaryen, which means it don't matter which bloodline you come from, he has a claim, technically.
Both, yeah. And he has a claim on the North and the Iron Throne.
Exactly, so...
To me, the way I'm seeing it is, Cersei's like your far right, okay? Really brutal, will do anything it takes. Daenerys is like your far left, not as brutal, not willing to do everything it takes, wants to do it kind of softly as she can.
Without...
Hang on, and then Jon Snow is like your perfect in the middle, has control of the North, will have control of the South. If he marries Daenerys, then he's got control of all of the Summer Isles as well. Yeah,
don't get me wrong, it does work, I suppose, but I don't know, there's something about him I'm not fond of. There's something about his character that just bores me.
I think he's a bit too brooding.
Yeah, that could be what it is.
And serious, and...
I think that's what could be the thing that bores me about Tormund. Brilliant.
I love Tormund.
Because he's just a plain...
I hope he breaks down Brienne eventually and she, falls in love with him too.
I won't call him a dick as such, but is that whole thing of...
He's a Scotsman.
Yeah. It's that whole thing that is a funny sort of dick.
Like the Hound.
Yeah. See, I'm not a massive fan of the Hound.
Or like Bronn.
Bronn for king.
Bronn for king.
Bronn for king.
Bronn of the Blackwater, first of his name.
Genuinely, Bronn for king, Tyrion is his hand, and Jaime as Master of Arms.
Yeah, like head of the King's Guard.
Yeah. That is your squad. That's who I would have.
Because Bronn is so stubborn now. He'd do something stupid and he wouldn't listen to Tyrion all of the time.
No, because with Bronn he'd be like, as first royal decree, what shall I have? More tits for everyone. More wine.
A lot of people want to see Tyrion as the king.
That would work for me. Because...
he's better as a hand. It's the whole battle side of things. Tyrion is a lover, not a fighter.
But he's so damn clever.
That's why he's good as the hand. If you think about it, it's like Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar is the muscle, but he has none of the eloquence or the gift of the gab. Well, that's why he's got Paul Heyman. Well, it's the same thing with a king and a hand.
That's the problem with Daenerys, though, where... like, Tyrion's like, we might play this a bit smart, we'll go in, we'll speak to him, and Daenerys is just like, no, I've got dragons, set fire to them. No!
Because I think
talk first!
Part of what they're trying to do is show that Daenerys, because she's a Targaryen, from what we've learnt, I think by nature, they're very fiery.
But she's so stupid.
So, they get clouded by anger quite easily, is what I'm gathering. That's why the Mad King ended up the way he did. And I think she's getting better. Like, I think it's going to take some time to quell that impulse.
I don't think she's getting better. I think she's exactly the same as she was at the start. The difference is, now she's got a Tyrion.
Well, that's what she needed, someone to teach her how to do it. If you think most kings and queens are brought up to be kings and queens, in a palace with training, with teachers, she wasn't. She was brought up with her psycho brother, who sold her off to a Dothraki horde.
Let's get into Daenerys then, now you've mentioned it. Because this is where my real problem begins. So, start of her story arc, she is to be, as you just said, sold off to the Dothraki in exchange for an army for her brother so her brother can take the throne.
The beautiful Khal Drogo.
And then what she decided to do was go, actually, I want this army for myself. Here's a pot of gold on your head, and killed her own brother.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, it is.
Too simplified. Her brother, right, he sold her off like a piece of meat. Couldn't care less about her, sold her for an army. Basically traded her like goods.
Right,
okay?
yeah.
And if someone does that to you, and then you actually fall in love with that husband, and he respects you and you respect him, and now she is a queen... because she's Khaleesi, which is the Dothraki's queen.
Yeah.
She automatically has more power and more influence than him. So it's almost like, well,
but that's
karma,
not the point.
really, isn't it?
But that's not the point, though, because the point is that it was supposed to be a trade for an army, which he never got.
He had the army. They were marching. They had other stuff to do before they sailed over. They didn't even have ships. So how's he supposed to march on King's Landing?
But every time he turned round and goes, I want my army so we can go and do something, she just went, nah.
And, can I just point out, if he was a true Targaryen, that gold would have done nothing to him.
Yeah. But, so there was that whole issue with the brother, which I was not a fan of.
You want a dragon, you were a lizard at best.
Which, I wasn't a fan of that. So, next thing... her husband then goes and dies after that. So she whines and she cries like a little bitch about it.
She loved him. She was so young.
But then she was like, oh, witch, please bring him back from the dead. And she was like, well, he might not come back the same. Bring him back anyway. And then he didn't come back the same. And she was like, why is he not the same? I'm going to kill you as well. So then she killed the witch.
Well, because the witch implicated that she knew that's what would happen.
But she told her
on purpose.
But she told her this would happen.
Not explicitly what would happen.
She said, I can do this, but he may not come back the same. And she went, I'll do it anyway.
And
then
she
got pissed off with the witch for doing it.
Well, she said as well that only life can bring life. And Daenerys thought that horse was the life, and it wasn't. It was her baby. She stole her baby from her. And so she lost her baby for no reason, because then her husband didn't even come back anyway.
He came back. But she was told that he wouldn't be the same, and he wasn't.
But she wasn't told that she'd kill her baby for it. She never would have done it if she knew that.
I think she would.
I don't think she would have.
But...
you don't understand how a mother loves their children.
Yeah, but she's just so desperate. That's the way that she comes across to me, is desperate. And, like, I think she'd have done it anyway, just to, I want another day with him, sort of thing. I think she'd have done it either way.
It kind of bothers me, right, that Rob's not getting that she did this because of how much she loved him. Because clearly then, you've never felt that kind of love, have you?
But if...
No, answer the question.
Of course I have. But if someone turns around to you and goes, I'll bring them back from the dead, chances are they're not going to be the same. They could be rather different. You'd be like,
No, 98% of people in that situation would bring them back, I'm telling you.
But you might want to question, like, what's going to happen. She just went, do it anyway.
When you're desperate, like you said, you don't question, you don't think rationally.
But then...
I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, do anything it takes, like, whatever.
But then, like, there is nothing that she has done that I think has been a good thing. Like, she's gone from killing her brother who should have had an army but then didn't.
Technically, she didn't kill him. Drogo killed him. She just didn't stop Drogo.
Yeah, she kind of goes off.
She's an accomplice to murder. She's not the murderer.
But then asked a witch to do her a favour and then killed the witch for doing it. And then she marches on a town after that to take shelter. She asked for shelter. None of them wanted to let them in except for one person. And in spite of that, killed them all.
They stole her dragons.
One person.
They killed all her people.
One person stole the dragons.
2 people stole her dragons.
Okay, 2 people stole the dragons. So she killed everyone in the town.
After they killed all her people.
But it's like someone going out into town and stealing something and then setting fire to the whole town. We would all die for something we didn't do.
No, it's like someone killing all your family and then you killing all theirs.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. It exactly was.
Because there weren't family, there was people that lived in that village.
No, it was the people she'd marched there with. Her Dothraki. Her servants.
Yeah, but the people that lived there were just people that lived in that town.
She didn't murder all the people. She murdered the masters that did that to her. The people were left alone because they were slaves and she freed them. She didn't murder all the people.
No.
That's crap.
No, anyone that... Basically, there was a whole ton of different... Right, we'll move on from that one. For the simple fact that...
Because he's talking crap.
No, we'll move on from that one because... Like, she killed the... But if you're calling it a family, fair enough. She killed the family, let's say.
Well, she killed the panel of people. I don't know what they were called. The board of the leaders, whatever they are.
As you said. But either way, she killed all of them, which I would say that most of them had nothing to do with it, but either way. And then she took those slaves and goes...
She didn't kill them, actually. The big black guy killed them all. Because he's the one that killed all her people and stole her dragons. Then the guy with the purple lips and the bald head trapped him in that pyramid.
And then she killed them all and looted the place.
No, she trapped the guy and that servant who betrayed her in the vault. And then she looted that man's house. That's all she looted. Because he was supposedly the richest man in Yunkai. And you were like, oh, she's stealing from him. Like, well, he's killed all her people. He stole her dragons. She needs money for ships. And he's locked in a vault destined to just die anyway. What's he need it for?
Because you just... whatever. Either way, she took the slaves from there, didn't she? Because she gave them the ultimatum of basically, come with me or stay here and die. So
Rob thinks she's giving him this ultimatum of join me or die.
Because,
not once does she say that.
No, she doesn't. She says
join me if you want or stay here as free men.
Yeah, so basically you can either be... So you can either come and join me and do everything I ask of you and whatever else, or stay here in a place where you have literally nothing now because I've just took everything away from you.
From one house.
No, because she'll have took everything. Because as you said earlier, this was a time back then where things were different, right? So this is a time back then where slavery is... So if the people that were slaves were basically bought by people, because if you had money, you would have slaves. If you didn't have money, you were a slave. So these people were given shelter, food, everything else, a place to live, and all they had to do was do what was asked of them, essentially. Essentially, that's the way slavery works. It's basically a shit job.
Yeah, but you're kind of missing out all the punishment, torture,
Yeah,
all of the starvation,
but
all of the ripping children away from their mothers to sell them.
But essentially, it's a job. Slavery is it's a shit way to look at it, but it was a job. They were given shelter, they was given food.
A job that none of them applied for or wanted.
But, I mean, what other options did they have as slaves? To run away and live in the woods and become wildlings? Either way, it's a point where they had shelter, they had food, and now she's gone in, killed all the people that were supplying them with this food and shelter, and then gone, come with me, or stay here where you've now got nothing.
But most people did stay there. Because she had to send Dario there to rule over Yunkai. Because the masters had started taking it back. She didn't murder all of the masters. That's what you're not getting.
She pinned thousands of them to crosses.
That was a different town to what you're talking about.
Either way, she did this in 3 or 4 different places.
And it was 100 and something. For every single child they'd murdered and put up on a cross, she murdered one of the masters.
Same as goes for when she got the Unsullied. She literally walked into a town and went, I like the look of this. I'll strike a deal with you. You give me an Unsullied and I'll give you a dragon. Okay, here's my dragon. Set fire to it. I'll have the Unsullied now, thank you.
She didn't give him a dragon. It's not her fault the dragon killed him. You cannot tame a dragon. You cannot enslave a dragon. That's what he didn't understand. He thought he'd take control of it and it'd be his dragon and it'd do whatever he said. She knew that that's not true. That's just tactics.
You could say the same for Cersei. But people don't like her for it. Because she's cleverer about it.
No, it's not that with Cersei. It's the fact that there's no remorse, there's no empathy.
There isn't with Daenerys.
There's more with Daenerys than with Cersei.
Daenerys is an absolute bitch.
Oh my god. See, I've watched this twice now. So a lot of the stuff you're saying, you've remembered wrong or you've got wrong. And I'm sure people will tell you it. Because a lot of the stuff with Daenerys, you're just making up.
No.
You are!
Right, you're telling me with the Unsullied thing, she didn't just walk in and go, I want your armour. Alright, well, what are you going to give me for this armour? I'll tell you what I've got. I've got a big-ass dragon.
Well, she gave him loads of gold as well.
But, it doesn't matter if you
I'm just saying, she paid him and threw the dragon in to sweeten the deal to get all of the Unsullied. The dragon then killed him.
No, if I went...
Right, if I sold you a dog, right, and the dog then ripped you apart, is that my fault?
If you've trained that dog to do so,
She hasn't trained them, they're dragons. It's like me selling you a wolf then. It's nature, it's natural for them to do that. It's a wolf.
Yeah.
Exactly, so if you want that as a pet, then on your head be it.
But if you told me something knowing it was going to kill me so you could just take whatever you wanted anyway, that's just a dick move.
I think it's clever. It's just as... You're telling me Cersei wouldn't have done the same? Just think about Cersei with dragons, alright? Every single town would have been on fire. There wouldn't have been any slaves to free because she'd have murdered them all. There wouldn't have been anything to rule over because everyone would be dead.
No, she's not that stupid.
She is, because the Summer Isles, they barely have any control over them anyway. It's like, right, the fact that we're constantly in Iraq and Afghanistan and so many people say, oh, we should just nuke the crap out of them, wipe them out, right? That is what Cersei would do. It's a nation she can't control, so she'd just wipe them out. Whereas Daenerys has gone in and said, how can I make this better? How can I get them on side? This is how I'm going to do it.
When has she ever asked questions?
The slaves have an option all the time. She says, you can march with me as free men or stay here as free men.
But...
And did she ever kill any slaves that stayed behind?
She doesn't need to. If you leave them in a town where there's no food, no water, no housing, because you've
killed... There's no implication that they don't have any of that.
If you kill the people that supply it, there isn't any.
She killed one of them. He killed the others.
Right, so it's like me having...
And there's still masters.
Hang on. So it's me having a house or a palace or whatever else, and I've got 50 people that work for me. And you walk in, kill me, and go, come with me, or stay here in this house. Oh, but there's no one to pay for any of this shit anymore, and it's probably going to get repossessed.
But that's not how it worked back then, though, is it?
You know what I mean, though?
Like, he'll have had gold and stuff in the house. It's not like he had a bank account where you've got to pass 10 million security questions to access his money.
There was a bank.
There was a vault, and it was just a wheel. It wasn't even a combination.
No, not that town. Like any other town.
That's the Iron Bank. That's different.
It's a bank.
The Iron Bank is more supplying to all the monarchs, though. It's a loan thing. It's not a here. I'll give you my 10,000 gold, and you look after it. It's can I borrow 10,000 gold and then I'll pay you back. I view the Iron Bank more like loan sharks, to be honest.
Either way, there are banks, and she's left these people.
There is a bank.
Whatever, and she's left to me that she's left them with literally no money, no food, no drink, no way to get these things, because she just left them without anyone to give them that thing.
Right, but the fact that they're free meant if they wanted to, they could go back to what they were doing before. One guy asked her for permission to, because he was a teacher, and he wanted to keep doing that for his master and his master's children. And he was allowed to do that because he was free. It's the fact of them having...
Didn't she then shit all over it afterwards? I'm sure she did something.
No. She allowed him to do it. She said, if that's what you want, you're free. You can do what you want. If you want to go back, that's your right. It's the fact that they had the choice. I mean, they could have left and gone travelling and gone to different lands. They could have gone anywhere, done anything. That's the point. They weren't tied there. They weren't animals anymore.
But how can they go anywhere when they've got no money? That's why they're slaves.
If you notice, she had a lot of people coming to see her in court, asking her for things, for help, and she gave it to all of them.
She had millions of people coming to them because stuff that they once had, they don't have anymore.
I'd rather be free and have nothing than be a slave to someone, to be honest.
I disagree.
I don't understand how you can agree with slavery. That's what's winding me up.
It's not the fact I agree with slavery. It's a time where slavery was a thing.
Right. Slavery was a thing not so long ago as well. Do you think that's still right, what we did to a whole nation of people?
No, but what I'm saying is, back then it was a thing. Slavery was a thing. And to basically give someone the option of, come with me, join my army, and you'll probably die in a fight, or stay here where I've just killed the people that were supplying everything to you.
In medieval times, slavery wasn't a thing. Servants were. Slavery, certainly, I know it's not this country, but it's based on this country, wasn't a thing. You had servants and like peasants and stuff like that, but not slavery.
Which is basically
because they don't have slavery in King's Landing. It's only the Summer Isles.
Either way, I just completely disagree with the way she goes about doing things. And I don't see how the way that she does things, which to me is just a despicable way of doing things, yet people love her for it, and yet Cersei is someone who has been worn down over time due to all these things that have happened to her, and yet she's seen as a bad person despite the fact that there's a reason why all these things have happened to her, and like you'd expect it to be that way.
Yeah, but Cersei and Daenerys have both had the same start in life. If anything, Cersei had a better one. Daenerys had assassins coming to kill her in her crib. She was taken away from her home. Her entire family was murdered. She was sold off to a Dothraki horde. She was raped then by that horde. Cersei had a lovely upbringing with her Lannister family and all her wealth and protection and her father and her brothers. Yes, she lost her mother, but she had a family.
Yeah.
And then she was fortunate enough to become queen, for God's sake. I know Robert wasn't great, but he wasn't awful either. It wouldn't have been like if she married the Mad King.
No, he was a terrible king.
But he never, he slapped her once.
Yeah, in that side of things.
Exactly, and back then, if you had a husband who didn't lay a finger on you, didn't force sex on you, you got pretty lucky.
But surely a king should do kingly things, and he definitely
He was crap
did.
as a king, but
Exactly.
that's because he wasn't destined to be king. He took the throne.
Hmm.
The Targaryens are the monarchs.
Hmm.
So Daenerys had a harder start in life. Yeah, I think she's handling things better, but understandably, she has a lot of anger. It's her throne that's been taken from her, along with her entire family, by the Lannisters and the Baratheons, so you're going to hate them. Whereas Cersei was just... She didn't have that harder start in life. And yes, she was sold off to Robert Baratheon, just the same as Daenerys was sold off to Drogo. But for Cersei, she lived in luxury. She had children. She had purpose there.
But it don't matter.
But she was still angry and vindictive. She was evil to Sansa.
I'd be evil to Sansa as well.
But at that point, she's just a young, stupid child. And she was evil to her. And that was before she lost any of her children or suffered any mega hardship. So she always had that evil in her.
Anyway, she wasn't evil to Sansa. It was Joffrey that was.
Cersei was horrible to her too.
Either way, I feel like it's time to wrap this up because we've massively gone over time with this one anyway.
Because we're never going to agree on it, ever, because I think you're full of crap and you think I'm full of crap. So we'll see what other people have to say, but...
Yeah, I just feel...
I think Daenerys has more reason to be angry than Cersei does, starting off.
I just feel like the way that Daenerys has gone around things has been a terrible way to go about things.
Cersei's been exactly the same, though.
But over time, she's had all these events happen to her, which would wear her down. I'd be exactly the same in her situation.
I'm not saying I don't understand why Cersei's the way she is now. But what I'm saying is she started off pretty bad.
Either way, let us know what you guys think anyway. Do you think that Cersei deserves to have gone downhill the way that she has done? Do you think that... Yeah, well, whatever. It's just like, do you think Daenerys is the one that's... Yeah, whatever.
Who's most entitled to the throne?
It's not so much who's entitled to the throne, it's more who'd be better on the throne.
Well, we haven't even talked about Jon Snow, so... I think there's all this focus on Daenerys and Cersei that he might just slip in there, to be honest.
I'd 100% think that Jon Snow's going to get at the end, because they'd already hinted at the fact that he's a Targaryen Stark with all this power and all that.
If he marries Daenerys as well, he's got everyone as an ally.
Yeah. Anyway, we will speak to you later in the month.